Welcome back to World Insight, and if you just joined us, you're watching your analysis on the world news. Let's take you now to Iraq, which of course is no stranger to war, conflict and violence, but even so, on August 19th, its capital was hit by a series of bombs. At least 1,300 people were killed or injured, and in the days following, car, truck and motorcycle bombs exploded one after the other in and around Baghdad. Some say the terrorists have returned once the US military has pulled out of Iraqi towns and cities. Is that true? And can the government and its security personnel guarantee the safety of its own people? Let's find out now.
The Aziz family lives in the neighborhood of the Iraqi Foreign Ministry. The August 19th bombs that shattered the ministry shattered their home as well.
The explosion happened all of a sudden. I was sitting in a room when I heard a great sound. I had no idea of what was happening. The roof came down. My shoulders and thighs were crushed.
The explosion destroyed most of the family's electronic appliances and household goods.
I think the explosion is very big. It's very, very, very big. I have no comment. After this explosion, I have a house. Now I have no house.
5 days after the blasts, the Prime Minister toured the site.
The Baghdad Municipal Council will start refurbishing the residential complex as of tomorrow.
August was marred by these high-profile assaults on government ministries and suicide bombings. Government statistics show insurgent attacks produced the highest monthly death toll among Iraqis. For August, it was 456 civilians and security personnel.
With these blasts, they say there is security improvement. So how should the right security be?
The attacks raised questions about the ability of Iraqi security forces to cope without U.S. help. On June 30th, the U.S. completed its withdrawal from the urban areas. Now, some 35,000 to 50,000 troops remain in the cities to train and advise Iraqi forces.
I know that there's a kind of serious explosion several days ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's always bad when stuff like that happens. And we're very sorry it happens, but I know the Iraqis are handling it. They've got good security forces, and I'm sure they'll recover from it.
And you're still here for quite a long time, or you were just leave?
I'm here till I'm told to leave, ma'am.
What kind of mission you're here now?
To support and train the Iraqis, ma'am.
U.S. President Barack Obama has declared that all combat forces would be gone by August 2010. But a Chinese analyst says Iraqis hadn't prepared well before the handover.
The U.S. official report concluded that only 17 of 175 Iraqi Army combat battalions could carry out counterinsurgency operations independently. Only 2 of 34 Iraqi National Police battalions were ready to do so. What's more, some suspect the security forces have been infiltrated by terrorists who could have been involved with the blasts.
The U.S. military has warned the militant group is trying to provoke new bloodshed to undermine public trust in the Shiite-led Iraqi government. Iraqi officials blamed al-Qaeda in Iraq and other Sunni insurgents. Blame also came from Sunni politicians.
We condemn these terrorist acts. We would like to send condolences to the relatives of our martyrs and wish a quick recovery to those that were injured. I demand that parliamentarians hold an emergency session to tackle this situation.
Some predict violence is likely to intensify in the run-up to parliamentary elections in January. But Tian Wenlin hears stronger voices for unity.
After years of war and infighting, different sects have come to realize that they will all benefit from a peaceful environment, and now they are seeking national unity under the current political system.
Prime Minister al-Maliki has announced a plan to set up a multi-confessional coalition. He's trying to get Kurds and Sunnis into the alliance. On August 24th, the Sadrists, a radical Shiite faction, joined the newly founded Iraqi National Alliance to prepare for the coming election. In addition, the Sunnis have given up their policy of boycotting the general election. Besides internal factors, external ones will help pave the way for Iraq's stability. The U.S. hopes Iraq could be its biggest achievement in foreign affairs in recent years. Politically, Iraq's success in returning to peace could shut the anti-wars up. Economically, a peaceful Iraq will bring the world's third largest oil reserve into use. Iraq's neighbors also have high stakes in the country's unity.
Turkey doesn't want to see a sectarian fight in Iraq. The country is aware that if the Kurds in Iraq declare independence, its un-Kurdish minority would follow suit. And Iran, the largest Shia-dominant country in the Mideast, is the biggest beneficiary from Iraq's stability. And for Syria, its economic outlook depends on Iraq's economic growth and development. History has shown that without external support, no opposition in Iraq will win.
Iraq is now seeing signs of life returning to normal. In July, Iraq played its first home soccer game since 2002.
This is an extraordinary match which will be remembered in the future as the first game in Iraq in more than 6 years.
In early August, blast walls in Baghdad began to be removed.
The removal would help reveal the face of old Baghdad, which is something very good.
The capital is seeing a marriage boom, and people have started enjoying themselves outdoors. No bombs, no blood. What Iraqis cherish most is in the hands of the various sects, their neighbors, and the entire international community.
Here's a quick geography lesson. It sits on the Tigris and Euphrates rivers and is home to successive civilizations all the way back since the 6th millennium BC. Iraq has been at the very heart of 7 different empires. In 1932, it won independence from the British, and since then, what we now know as the modern state of Iraq has only seen a string of wars, interventions, and coups. The American invasion in 2003 only stepped up that civil violence, and now with the withdrawal of foreign powers, the country will be on its own feet once again to achieve what its people have long been looking forward to. Coming up next, crazy medicine, a prescription for disaster in Cambodia.